everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie and I do weekly finance and lifestyle videos, and today I'm going to be telling you all the things that you need to know before buying a home. If you're interested in this type of content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss when I post a new video. So buying a home for the first time can be a really overwhelming and exciting experience. It's such a great experience and really fun, but also really overwhelming because this is your first time, you haven't experienced it before, you're not sure what to expect. So I comprised a list of all the things that I wish I knew before buying a home. It's definitely not everything. There are so many things that go into buying a home, so make sure you do your research, but let's get into the video. First tip is to get a trusted realtor before you buy a home if you're going the realtor route. This is really important because realtors obviously make money off of buying and selling homes, and I'm not trying to bash realtors, but there are really fantastic ones like the one I use and really bad ones that don't really care about your interests and just want to kind of be as quick as possible to buy you a home so they can get their money and move on. But really look around at realtors, find someone that suits you, that is really educated in the area that you're looking for, and that is not pressuring you or trying to convince you to buy homes no matter what it is. Obviously do your research, get references, and make sure you end up with a realtor that has your best interest in mind and they're not trying to pressure you to buy just any single home that you see. Second thing to know is the money that you need for closing is more than just your down payment. And I kind of was aware of this, but I didn't realize how much money you actually need at closing. So when I would play around on Redfin or Realtor, all those websites where you can just casually search for houses when you're not that serious, I would just put in, you know, I want to spend $500,000 on a house, and they would do the calculations and it would be like, okay, for 20% down, you just need $100,000 and then you can own this home. And I'm like, this is so great. Like, I just need $100,000. No. Buying a home is so much more than a down payment. There's something called closing costs. So these are all the costs associated with you actually buying the home. Closing costs can actually be, depending on the market that you're buying in, you, the buyer, might be responsible for all the closing costs for the buyer, or you may be able to negotiate them. But closing costs are anywhere from 2 to 4% of the total home. If you're buying a house for $500,000, if you are paying closing costs, this can be anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 that you are paying at closing, which can be a lot of money. So you have to factor that in, that yes, you need your down payment, but you also need closing costs. Closing costs are a lot of things. I'm just going to read them off to you. They're the appraisals, your home inspector, they're the underwriting, credit reports to make sure that you can afford the home, pest inspections, surveying the home, the settlement, the owner's title insurance. I mean, this is so much. Attorney fees, recording fees, transfer taxes, so to transfer the house from the original owner to you, homeowner's insurance, interest, the property taxes, home warranty. It's just a lot of things that add up in price. So before you even start looking for a home, understand that all these closing fees, the home inspections, all these costs you have to pay before and or at closing. So make sure that you're factoring that in when you have your budget. It's not just the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20, 30% down of the home that you'll be paying. It's all these other costs associated with it. My next tip is to get a reputable home inspector. This is so important. And if possible, don't waive the home inspection contingency. I know a lot of people do this. So if you're not familiar, usually when you put an offer on the home, you have a home inspecting contingency, which means you will come in with the home inspector, and there's usually different types of contingency. Either it's like a walk away, so if there's significant things wrong with the home, you can just walk away and not have to be bound by the contract, or if there are a lot of issues, you can go back and try to negotiate with the seller. And in really competitive markets, a lot of the times either people pay for the home inspector to come with them before they put an offer in. So home inspectors are usually about $300 to $500. So they've already done it before they're putting an offer in on the home. So what some people do in a really competitive market is they do the home inspection before they put in an offer. I mean, the good thing about this is if they may accept your offer because you have already done the home inspection, so they know you won't back out. But also the bad thing is if they don't accept your offer, you know, somebody comes in like 20K over, you just lost $500. So that's one way people do it. The second way to do it is people just don't have a home inspector at all, or they have a home inspector that comes with them, but there's no contingencies. Meaning once they put in the offer and the offer is accepted, doesn't matter what the home inspector finds, you're bound by that contract. I personally wouldn't do that, but it's really common in competitive markets for people to just waive the contingency for the home inspector. But regardless, when you're doing a home inspection, make sure that you get a reputable home inspector. This is so important because you want to make sure that you understand all the issues with the house. And it's not just like, oh, the appliances are 10 years old, you know, this microwave might break in a couple of years. That you understand what's going on with the roofing, the electrical, the plumbing, the HVAC system. You want to make sure that you really get a great home inspector, somebody that you trust, is reputable, has great recommendations, to make sure that when they go inspect the home, you will know exactly what's wrong with the house. Especially for some of us, you know, we might be our first time home buyers and we're not actually that familiar with like what the maintenance is for a house, like how it works, the ins and out, and what are big red flags to look for. Make sure that you get a really good home inspector. Just please do that. My next tip is to don't be house poor. This is really problematic, and a lot of people run into this problem because when you get approved for a mortgage, either the bank or your mortgage lender will tell you what the max amount of money that you can spend on a home is. And this is just human nature. When we think that we can afford, you know, our budget is for a $500,000 home, but the actual approval is for a $600,000 home. Then you start looking at houses that are $525,000, $550,000, $575,000, and it creeps up there, and it just makes us more likely to look at more expensive houses. And so this does not always mean that you should spend your max amount of your budget. You don't want to be house poor, because once you actually get approved for the house, you find the house that you're looking for, you buy it, everything's closed. There are so many expenses from coming with a home. You know, you have your monthly costs, so how much your mortgage is, with utilities, homeowner insurance, property taxes. You have maybe a larger home, so you now have to furnish it just to maintain the home. Just, it's a house or a condo or a townhouse. You know, when you buy a property, things will inevitably break, and you want to make sure that you have enough money to, number one, comfortably live in your home, comfortably pay your bills, comfortably pay things when they break, and pay for everything else that is going on in your house, and still be able to meet your financial goals. So it is really tempting to see the number when you get pre-approved to be like, okay, now I can start looking for houses like that. But don't do that. Don't be house poor. Stay within your means. So going off of that, your monthly expenses is not just your mortgage payment. So again, when I would look at these calculators, these evil calculators, it would say your mortgage payment is $2,500. I'm like, great, my rent is $2,500. It's going to be the same. No. Your monthly payment is more than just your mortgage payment. So you have monthly taxes that you have to pay. You have your homeowner's insurance. You may have a PMI. You may have homeowners association fees, you may have condo fees. There are so many other costs that are associated with just your monthly payment. And so you really need to calculate how much your monthly cost will be when you're buying this home. Really understand how much is the cost monthly to afford your home without like everything breaking, but just how much you should be expected to pay month to month, because it is way more than just your mortgage payment. So the next step I have is, when you're investing in your home, you're not just investing in your home, but you're investing in the neighborhood. There are so many things that you can change to your house. You can put in new granite, you can make new light fixtures, you can make it so beautiful. But one thing you cannot do is change the location of where you live once you buy that property. So really think about the area that you're buying in. Number one, think about the neighborhood. So when you're interested in a house or a condo, you know, yes, you visit there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but come back at nighttime, see if it's a safe area. And safe means different for everyone. Is that an area that you're going to be comfortable with walking home at night? If you have an animal, are you comfortable, like an animal, like do you walk your cats? If you have a dog, are you comfortable walking your dog late at night? Think about the area that you're living in. Do your research about sales in that area. So look at the last 3 years. Have homes been appreciating pretty high, or have they kind of been stagnated? Look at the neighborhood. Is there grocery stores near you? Is there parks? You know, could you actually see yourself living in this area? Yes, you might love like the condo that you're in, but is there a lot of things that are around it that is similar to what you're used to. So if you're someone that's really interested in going to bars, there's bars within like either walking distance or like a comfortable distance for you. If you like going to parks, are there parks around? How much farther is this from your work? Another great point is to look at your city's development plans. So this is something that I always do. If you're especially interested in trying to find a property that will appreciate and value pretty quickly, a really great way that this happens is when there's new developments going on. So what you can do is go onto your city's websites and look at their development plans. These are public knowledge, and you can see if there's any new developments of like retail space, grocery stores, entertainment that is going to be happening in the next 3 to 5 years, because this is going to be, number one, a really indication that, hey, you might see an increase in prices, but also, are you going to want to live there in 3 to 5 years? Like, are these the type of developments that you want to be around? And it's a great way to understand your area. So you see a lot of green space. Is this green space city property? Is there development plans to build new condos there? You know, I live in a condo right now and we're moving, and right beside us literally used to be the most amazing dog park and so much green space, and they built a giant condo there. And that was just always in their city plans. And so really understand the neighborhood that you live in, because you can make your house amazing as possible, but unfortunately you can't change your neighborhood. So make sure that you understand what the dynamics are of your neighborhood, what's around you, what might be changing, what's going on in the future, and if that's something that you also want to buy in. Next tip, which might be a little bit of a pill to swallow, is you might not get the first home that you see. Trust me, because I was there. So when you start your journey of trying to buy your own place, your own property, it's kind of like you have this misconception that I'm the only person looking for like what I want. So I was under the impression that the first offer I made on a house or a condo, whatever you're looking for, it was just going to be accepted, and this is going to be like a 3-week thing, and then I'm going to own a property. It doesn't work like that. And buying a property can be really time consuming. You have to be patient, and it could be 3 weeks, or it could be 3 months, or it could be 2 years. You know, what you're specifically looking for and what's available on the market, and how many other buyers are on the market looking for what you are looking for. You really have to not get emotionally attached to every house you see, because it can be a really long process. If you see a place that you really love, there's likely other people that love it and probably have the same means and, you know, contract that you do, or even better. So make sure that you understand that this can be actually a long process, and you might not get the first place that you want. So make sure that you don't become emotionally attached, because I've been there when I saw a home and I was like, this is like the place for me, and then it wasn't because we didn't get it, and it can feel very disheartening. So just have an open mind. Don't get emotionally attached to a home, like ever in general. Buying a property can be really time consuming. Don't get emotionally attached until you close, or even don't get emotionally attached in general, because the thing about properties is they somehow always have issues. So understand that you might not get the first place you see, you might not get the second place that you see, you might not get the third place that you see, but you will eventually find a place that is perfect for you. So just be open-minded and don't get too disheartening, especially in a competitive market where you feel like you've been putting offers on like 6 or 7 places and nothing sticks. You know, I bought a home in Washington, D.C., a very competitive market, and this was the 5th offer that we put in that actually got accepted. The 4 other offers that we put in before on other houses were not accepted, and my realtor was like, that's actually pretty good getting it by the 5th house. So really be open-minded and understand like you might not get the first place that you see. Those are all my tips. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. These are everything I learned about buying a house in 2020, and I hope you guys took away something from this video. If you did like this video, please give me a like and comment below and let me know if you've bought your first place, or you've bought in homes, or you're thinking about buying a home, and what you learned in the process, because this is such a new experience for all of us, especially, you know, when you're buying homes, properties, it's usually, unless you work in that field, not something that you're doing constantly. So, you know, you do it at one time and then you take a break and you revisit it the next time you're ready for it, and it's like, oh my god, I forgot all this stuff. So it's definitely a learning process, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.